Hey, good morning, guys. It's Goose here. Welcome to Thursday and Stock Talk with Ricky and myself. We're coming to the end of the week here. We got a couple days left. Hopefully, you guys are having a great week. We've had some pretty good ideas in here, and hopefully we keep them coming. Just make sure you guys know that everything that we're talking about, guys, is not a solicitation. It's just some ideas, some work that we've done, different thought process maybe than you guys are used to or that you haven't heard before. You guys do your own homework. Please make sure you read the disclaimer in the description section as well as you see up on the screen. Hopefully you guys have come checked us up at stocktraders.net. Listen, we have a free trading floor over there, a great community growing. We also have a premium side. We have a free trial to check out the premium. We're actually working on a video that's going to be up there so you can see exactly what goes on in that premium and see some details of it. But it's pretty impressive. We get some great feedback from people on that. So hopefully you come and check it out. So I got a few names today, so I'm going to turn it right over to Ricky and see what he's got. And then I'll be back with you guys in a few minutes. So, Ricky?
Right on. Thanks, Goose. Please head over to stocktraders.net, guys. Come talk to the people on the floor. They'll tell you need to join. You need to be part of this community. We are growing. We got big things on the horizons. Tron's coming. We got discounts on Trade the News, proprietary scanners. I'm telling you guys, the list goes on, and it's only going to keep growing. So do yourselves a favor. Head over there. Make sure you follow my man Goose on Twitter, thegoose0519 at is that just it? Yeah. And make sure you follow me too at RickyAnalog_STN. Please share this broadcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere. We'll get some eyes on it. Do us that favor. Help us grow this community, guys. Let's jump right into it. Pull up the charts. The first thing I'm looking at today, guys, is not this one. Hold on one second. We were going to do BPTH first, guys. So we did this one on the 4th, I believe. It had a big move, and just as we expected, it gave the whole thing back, and there were a lot of underlying reasons behind it, guys. Let's just refresh your memory. OS is about 11 million shares. 9.9 million shares should be about the float. It might be more, and I'll get into that in a second, but they should still have warrants at about 380 and higher. The offering they did in November was for 1.3 million shares at $3 a share. Now, they did have an untapped $25 million ATM with Cantor. That was one of the things that made me think this was going to give that move back the last time. Now, I believe that ATM may have been tapped pretty hard, which is why I say that the float may be higher now. They still have about 100 million left on a shelf, and they can raise close to $7.6 million before hitting their limits imposed by the baby shelf. Now that may be also a bit larger since the float may have increased as well. But this thing's still a turd. I still think it's a short, but at the moment, there's not enough meat on the bone, guys. I would sure like to see a push close to that 200-day. You can probably use the highs of that previous pop as your risk limit. Unless we get above that, cut it, let it get some legs. Let's see if they do want to try to get those warrants exercised and get those shareholders out. But I have high doubts that that's going to happen, guys. So let's just see if it sets up first. But if it does, we can use lower highs and lower lows as our way to get an entry on it and play it as usual. If you don't know how we play these guys, head over to the chat room, and I'm happy to guide you guys through these things. The next thing I'm looking at is IZEA. Now, it had a big pop yesterday. So you can see on the chart, let's look at the daily. I had this nice pennant drawn out because I was actually looking at it for a long on pulls back to this trend line. I thought it had a really nice flag going, and you can see it got violated pretty hard. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the reason for that down move was when they reported that they were going to have a late filing for their 10K. Well, they finally filed it, and for some reason, people were excited about their earnings or whatever. And this, I believe, is what caused the initial move. And then, you get chasers coming in, chat rooms chasing low floats. And we had a giant pop where it halted, opened, smashed into 4, which, as you can see, is right at the bottom of that, what was previous support. So I actually missed getting in at those 4s because I was a little slow to locate. But I had it on short yesterday. It's still on short watch today. Now, things you need to know about it. The OS is around 5.8 million, but the float should be closer to 4. Their MVPHS is around 18 million, meaning they can only raise around 6 million. They do have a $75 million shelf. They have a conference call at 5 p.m. today, so after market. So wouldn't be surprised if maybe today's not the day. A lot of times these things will hold into these conference calls and then sell off after. But looking at their 10K, I don't need to hear the conference call. Their cash flow is still negative. They're burning around $200,000 a month. But I guess on the bright side, that number has been cut in half from previous years. Their revs grew slightly, but nothing remarkable. They had about $4 million cash at the end of the year, which could be plenty if their expenses stay where they're at. That being said, I'm short bias on this, guys. I'm going to let it set up, and if it sets up, we'll be waiting for it. Now, I just want to throw in Kirk's real quick because Goose just kind of pointed out they had news right before we went live, and I was able to just pull up some quick notes on it, guys. They do have a $72.4 million left on the ATM with Cantor. Yes, Cantor is another ATM. They're everywhere. They do these toxic financings with everyone. They have about 119 million OS and 70 million in the float. They had about 60 million cash, and I believe they're burning around 9 million a month. So this thing may be a possible short if it sets up. You see the 200 right up there around 570. I don't know if the news is going to move it or not, but I just figured let's throw it out there. That's it for me, guys. I'm going to let Goose take it away, buddy. Get it.
Hey, great job as always, man. And if you guys haven't been following and you're kind of new to our stock talk, I mean, Ricky has nailed some of these lower price names. It's almost ridiculous. And if you guys have been in chat, the guys in chat will even tell you, ask some of the guys about some of the research that he's been doing. It's insane. And you guys got to get over there and check it out. And some of the pages he puts together, it's pretty wild. So great job as always, man.
Thank you, buddy.
You got it. So I'm going to jump right into well, I own the bed, so maybe that's why I want to be long. But Sleep Number, maybe that's why I'm covering it today. Who knows? But anyway, here's my thought on Sleep Number real quick. So first of all, I drew this back here. Let me pull back the daily for a second. You can see why I was talking. Look, this $30 area is of interest to me. This is a prior support area. Now, here's the thing: is that they've caught a couple more price target lowerings over the last hour or so. So what I want to do is I want to kind of see the morning action. There's a chance that I buy a morning wash if it gets down to 30 or 29s as far as for a bounce. And what I'm looking for on this thing is I think it's a little bit oversold. They missed on their numbers, their earnings, their guidance. They kind of reaffirmed their guidance. So with that all being said, I think after the dust settles, we'll be able to tell pretty early how heavy it's going to be. And I'm looking for a push back up into this 33 or 33.5 area. So that's what I'm looking for. I think this could definitely do it. It might be a little bit oversold. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for and looking for, that it holds a support level, soaks up there, which was a previous area before I had made a run. And, news is all out, and maybe we could, push forward back into that area. So I do like SNBR. I will be one of my top watches this morning to look, but I will not force it, and I will be patient on my entry. If it wants to keep coming down, I'll pick a spot, wait for a higher low, and then I'll hit it. So moving on, I want to talk about American Express. So this one, also I'm looking at a long on this one, and this is where I came up with my numbers just so you guys could see. I used some pre-market fibs that I drew. And you can see a pullback right now. I had put the 97 area because it kind of falls right between that 60 and 50% retrace from pre-market levels. I definitely going to keep an eye on the market to see how it's acting. I always, tell you guys, if you're long bias on some of these bigger names, it could be great. The charts could be great, but man, the market could really stuff your chart in the day. So, just be very, aware of what the SPY is doing and other things, before you just jump and say it's got to go higher. But what I'm looking at is a retrace down here to the 97 area, call it. And then a pushback up, expecting pretty much $100 magnet on this thing and looking for it to push up towards that. And you could see prior, this name has range. I mean, there's no, I could go to the biggest candle. You can see $6, $7 move on it. So, I mean, there's definitely enough range in this name in the past that it could justify $4 or $5 move on good earnings, upgrades, price target upgrades and all that. So I like the idea. I would like to get a better entry than 98 right now, kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I wouldn't want to trade this thing for $1.50 or $1 move. So I'm hoping for a retrace to be able to buy, or a morning imbalance to be able to buy it a little bit cheaper. Lastly, going to go into INCY. And I know I covered this about a week ago, and I'm going to cover it again real quick. And here's I drew a little fib on the, well, it's actually come a little bit lower since then. So let me drop this down with you guys and pull it down to the low. So now you can see what I'm looking at in this is kind of a retrace up to that 50 and 60% pop. Now, right now, it's already, retraced 40%, as you can see from the lows that it made earlier. But I want to sell a push into the 68 area. That would be the ideal spot for me. But we'll have to see. 68.50 it was before. Obviously, I'm not sure it's going to make it up there, which is as far as it's come down. But they came out with some news, and I'm not sure that's actually, they're just kind of stating ahead of time that it doesn't look great with some of their FDA stuff. I was saying it was either make or break. We've been talking about the last few days on the daily. It looks like it could break up, but it kept getting stuffed in the 71.30 area. And if it wants to break through 70, look out below. So I think that's kind of what's happened. It's a little bit of a broken chart, and I think it's going to retrace, and probably it's already hit 65. So, I think I put my pre-mark that I was hoping for a 68.50, looking for, 66, 65 and a half area. It's already kind of gone down that area. So I don't think that's a far cry. But what I'll look for is got to be good entry for me. Maybe a morning shove into that 68.50, 68 area for a fade back towards 65 or even better. So that's what I'm looking at this morning. Got a lot on watch. Don't need to marry one idea if they're not working for you. They've already traded out of your ranges. There's plenty more to jump on. Stay safe today, guys. Let's have a great day. Look forward to finishing up the week tomorrow with you at 9:05. Take care, guys.
Great job, Goose. Guys, I see you in the chat. In the YouTube comments, bringing up DXR. It is a former runner. Just want to point out that float is under 1 million, so stay super safe. If you don't know how to safely trade under 1 million float, on 1 million share float, stay the hell away from it. That's the only thing I can say, guys. Number one rule in this game is preserve your capital. You got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you don't have a trade. Head over to stocktraders.net. We'll help you get a plan together, and we can start attacking these things. I will discuss DXR in the chat with anybody that wants to. There are some levels. It is coming off. I know Goose probably had it on watch for a retrace. He loves those type things. But you guys have to realize this thing can really, really squeeze. So that being said, guys, let's go out there and crush it. Peace.